Welcome to Peace in the Valley, where adventure starts at home.
Good evening. I've had a request from a couple of people, my son mostly, to show you guys how I used to make yogurt all the time. And I actually learned this from Bryce's oldest sister, Kara, who is a master chef, and she does everything perfectly when she cooks in the kitchen. So thank you, Kara, for this recipe. I haven't used it in quite a while because I don't have any kids at home who eat yogurt. It's just Bryce and I, and Bryce doesn't like yogurt, so I don't want it to go to waste. So anyway, this is a very basic, easy recipe to make a homemade plain yogurt, and then you can flavor it however you want. I usually use like organic milk or raw milk, but I didn't have any, so we're just using traditional whole milk. Makes the best because it's got more fat, so it's tastier. And then you use a starter, which you can buy yogurt starter cultures, or you can just use plain yogurt, and I'm going to use Greek yogurt because I like it. So the proportions is 1 cup of milk, no, said that backwards, 2 cups of milk to 1 tablespoon of starter, yogurt starter. And I'm going to make a quart of yogurt, so I'm going to use 4 cups of milk and 2 tablespoons of yogurt. So procedures: turn your stove on medium high. You don't want to scorch your milk. And since I'm going to do a quart, I'm going to measure out 4 cups of milk. And you need to heat the milk, stirring occasionally so it doesn't scald on the bottom, to 180 degrees. I use a candy thermometer because it's got this nifty little thing on there. My other stem thermometer doesn't, so. And this should move so I can fit it on there. You always want to make sure it doesn't touch the bottom, of course, but it's in there enough that it will give you a reading of the temperature. This pan's a little big. I use a whisk to stir it occasionally. Make sure it's heating evenly. And we're just going to watch the temperature rise. You'll also need like some towels or a small blanket. This is a car microfiber blanket to dry your car off. It's a nice size, so I'm going to use it. You need to wrap your jar afterwards. A lot of fancy people have yogurt proofers or yogurt makers that is like a little fun little proofer oven that keeps a even temperature. But the towels do the same thing, and I put it in a cupboard above my fridge. Does the same thing. Another thing, I reuse jars all the time. This particular quart jar is from Sweet Buzz Pure Honey, Ronnie Crone over in Grover Hill. Very good honey. If you ever get over there, he'll sell you some good honey. We're at 150 now, and it's been about 8 minutes, so You're gonna be doing a lot of watching, a lot of hurry and waits. But once you get up this far, it doesn't usually take very long until you hit 180. You're gonna be doing a lot of this when it gets close to 180. And there we go. And remove it from the heat as soon as it gets to 180, so that way you don't start scalding it. That is the reason, because the closer you get to the boiling point, the more likely it is you are to scald the bottom. I have done that. It doesn't taste too bad, but you still get that taste. Now, here's the weird part. You're gonna let it sit until it gets to about 115. 120 to 115. Since it's hot out today, I'm probably gonna just let it wait until it's 120. If it's too hot, you will kill the cultures and the yogurt starter. So that's why you want it. It's kind of the same way whenever you're making bread. Your water that you add your yeast to is between 105 and 115. That's perfect breeding ground for the cultures to start growing and doing their thing. So we'll be back in a little bit. Usually takes, since it's warm out, it's gonna take a good half an hour probably to get back down and wetted out. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, it was about 15 minutes and it made it down to 115 degrees. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our yogurt, and remember our ratio. It was 1 cup of milk, 2 cups of milk. I always say it backwards. 2 cups of milk to 1 tablespoon of yogurt. So we did 4 cups of milk, so that's 2 tablespoons of yogurt. I'm not precise, I just scoop it out. Hasn't failed me yet. So you put that into your milk, your nice warm milk. Use your whisk. Make sure it all gets mixed in. And then you're ready to put it into your jar. And like I made a quart, so I'm using a quart jar. I used to make half gallons. I even have one of those big pickle jar gallons, and I'd put it in there. Now I use that for kombucha. And that is another video for another day. So, but tonight we're just making a quart. So I have a quart jar here. I have a nice wide mouth funnel. Very handy. If you guys don't have one, oh my goodness, these are lifesavers. And then, but pouring from a pot like this into this is still difficult. So I usually like lean the edge of my pot onto my thing and just start, because it doesn't pour very well. It's a little frothy, so it kind of overflowed a little bit. Then you put the lid on. Cleaning it up because that was messy. Now we're going to put it in whatever kind of covering you want to use. Like I said, I'm using this car wash chamois. Just cover it all up. Use some rubber bands. Make sure it stays all covered. And then just put it in a nice, dark, warm place. Like I said, I put it in the cupboard above my refrigerator. Seems to work really good. Recipes are varying. Like, probably after you watch this and you're really interested in making yogurt, you're gonna go and Google how to make yogurt, and it's gonna be all over the place. My average is anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. What I usually do, I make it in the evening, and then the next morning I check it. If it's not done, I leave it till the afternoon. So we're gonna go ahead and put it in the cupboard, and we'll catch you tomorrow. And as you can see, we've got nice thick yogurt. So it's not too hard. Now with this is, if you want to keep it thick, as it sits in the fridge, the whey will gather on the top. And if you don't care, you'll just stir it in and it'll be a little runnier. But otherwise you can like just skim it off and just dump it out. And then each time it'll just keep getting thicker as you eat more. But that's a quart. Thanks for watching.